James grew up with Jesus as his brother. You can imagine how difficult that was for him. Mary always saying, "Who's my favorite boy?" I know it's always Jesus, Mom. You don't have to keep saying it. But there's a reason why this is so significant. We read it in John chapter 7, verses 1 through 5, and you'll see it right here. Let's read it together. After this, Jesus went about in Galilee. He would not go about in Judea because the Jews were seeking to kill him. Now the Jews' feast of booths was at hand. So his brothers said to him, "Leave here and go to Judea, that your disciples may also see the works you're doing. For no one works in secret if he sees to be known openly. If you do these things, go show yourself to the world." For not even his brothers believed in him. Not even his own brothers, who grew up with a perfect sibling, a Messiah, who clearly never made a mistake. Not even they believed in Jesus and his messianic prophecies, that he fulfills them, that he is the promised Savior. Later, though, we read in the New Testament the book of James, written by James, that proclaims the lordship of Jesus and the resurrection. So what event took a doubting brother to a writer of the book of the New Testament proclaiming the resurrection and lordship of Jesus Christ and an eventual martyr? What event took place? The resurrection of Jesus Christ.
And if I could add, Stuart, not only that, but James ultimately became the leader of the Jerusalem church. And in Acts 15, after the first missionary journey of Paul and John Mark and Barnabas, they came back with all the Gentiles having been converted, and a huge eruption occurred in the early church because the Judaizers, as they're called, the people who thought that you can love Jesus but you're still under the Jewish law to practice, caused a debate in the early church. And it was those with Paul who said, "No, it's by grace and grace alone. We don't put ourselves back under the law." And you had these Jews saying, "No, we got to be back under the law because we're Jewish." And it was James and Peter who stepped to the plate and said, "No, we're saved by grace and grace alone." That's what turned the whole Jerusalem Council in Acts 15 to then send the second missionary journey of Paul and Silas out into the world to bring the gospel to people like us today.